The music is blasting, the lights are flashing, and the cameras are rolling, but behind the glitz and glamour, the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Rasheeda, the self-proclaimed boss chick, is fed up, absolutely done with the never-ending cycle of betrayal, lies, and Jasmine's sneaky games. And when word hit the streets that Jasmine, yes, that Jasmine, had the audacity to slide back into Kirk's life, the entire love and hip-hop world gasped in disbelief. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and whispers started flying like wildfire. Is Jasmine really trying to steal Rasheeda's man again? This isn't just another petty spat or social media shade. No, this is a full-blown war and emotional explosion years in the making. Rasheeda, who fought tooth and nail to hold her marriage together through public humiliation and betrayal, is not about to let the same woman who nearly tore her family apart slither back into the picture. And the way she exploded. Pure reality. TV gold. Eyewitnesses claim her rage could be heard across the entire venue as she screamed, pointed, and let Jasmine know in no uncertain terms. Not this time. Not ever again. But here's the kicker. Jasmine didn't back down. Instead, she smirked, tossed her hair, and threw out accusations that left the entire crowd frozen in shock. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Kirk, it was about secrets, revenge, and a twisted love triangle that refuses to die. So buckle up, because this isn't just another messy night in Atlanta. This is betrayal, loyalty, and heartbreak colliding in the most explosive way possible. And trust me, you won't believe what happened when Rasheeda's rage hit its boiling point. The tension had been bubbling beneath the surface for weeks. Whispers in the streets of Atlanta about Jasmine sliding back into Kirk's orbit like a storm waiting to touch down. At first, nobody wanted to believe it after everything that went down. After the tears, the public humiliation, the vows Rasheeda had so painfully rebuilt, who in their right mind would think Jasmine would try again? But that's the thing about messy love triangles, logic never plays a part. When the rumors got too loud to ignore, Rasheeda's silence turned into a storm of fury, and everyone close to her could feel it. Friends said she would slam her phone down after scrolling social media, muttering under her breath about fake hoes, trying it again. Fans started catching the shade in her posts, subtle digs with captions about loyalty, about snakes hiding in plain sight. The speculation only fueled the fire, and by the time Rasheeda and Jasmine ended up in the same room, emotions were already at their breaking point. It happened at a high-profile Atlanta event, a packed nightclub where stars, influencers, and fans mixed under flashing lights and heavy bass. The kind of place where every move gets recorded, every side-eye becomes a headline. Rasheeda walked in poised, flawless as always, rocking a look that screamed confidence but hiding the storm boiling inside. Kirk was right behind her, trying his best to look supportive, but everyone could see the tension written across his face. The whispers spread like wildfire. That's them, Rasheeda and Kirk. Some fans gasped, some smirked knowingly, because they knew the real story wasn't about what they were, it was about who else was about to walk through those doors. And when Jasmine appeared, strutting like she owned the place, every camera in the room turned to her. She was glowing, unapologetically bold, rocking a dress that made sure nobody could ignore her presence. Her smirk was calculated, a silent dare tossed across the room like a spark in a room full of gasoline. Rasheeda saw it instantly, and the look on her face shifted from composed to dangerous in a split second. Friends tried to hold her back, whispering in her ear, "Don't give her the satisfaction. Not tonight." But Rasheeda wasn't hearing any of it. This wasn't just about Jasmine showing up, this was about the audacity, the nerve, to try and stand in the same space as her like history hadn't happened, like her family wasn't nearly destroyed. That smirk cut deeper than any words could, and when Jasmine dared to lock eyes with her, Rasheeda's rage could no longer be contained. The crowd went silent as Rasheeda stormed forward, heels clicking like warning shots across the floor. People pulled out their phones instantly, everybody knew something was about to go down. Kirk reached for her arm, trying to calm her down, but Rasheeda yanked away, eyes blazing. "You think you slick, don't you?" she shouted, voice echoing above the music. Jasmine tilted her head, unfazed, and replied with a tone that sent chills through the room, "If he didn't want me, he wouldn't answer my calls." The crowd erupted in gasps, screams, phones shaking in people's hands as they tried to capture every second. Kirk's face turned pale, his hands covering his mouth, but Rasheeda's fury only grew stronger. "You trifling bitch," Rasheeda screamed, jabbing her finger in Jasmine's face. "You tried this before, and I forgave his sorry ass once, But you will never ever destroy my family again. Jasmine didn't flinch, didn't step back, and instead delivered the line that would send social media into overdrive. Funny, 'cause your family keeps finding its way back to me. The words landed like a bomb, the room exploding with reactions. Fans inside the club shouted, some cheering for Rasheeda, others egging on Jasmine. A few tried to step between them, but neither woman was backing down. It wasn't just an argument anymore. It was a battlefield, years of anger and betrayal boiling to the surface. Kirk, desperate to stop the situation, finally pushed himself between them. Hands raised like a referee in the middle of a championship fight. Stop it, both of y'all. This ain't the place, he shouted, but his voice was drowned out by the chaos around him. Rasheeda, shaking with fury, glared at him with tears threatening to spill. This is your fault, she spat, her voice breaking. You brought this snake into our lives, and now she thinks she can come back whenever she feels like it. Kirk looked like a man trapped in quicksand, caught between his wife's fury and Jasmine's smirk, knowing no matter what he said, someone would leave hating him even more. Jasmine, seeing the chaos she caused, only leaned in closer, her voice cutting through the noise. He texts me. He calls me. Don't act like I'm chasing him. Maybe you should check your man instead of me. The crowd screamed again, some covering their mouths in shock, others recording every second like it was pay-per-view drama. Rasheeda, hands balled into fists, her chest heaving as the betrayal hit her all over again. The pain of years past, the humiliation of the world knowing her husband's infidelity. The whispers behind her back, it all came rushing forward in that one moment. And before anyone could stop her, she lunged, shoving Jasmine backward with a force that sent drinks flying and tables shaking. Security rushed in, fans screamed, and chaos consumed the room. Cameras flashed as the two women screamed over each other, security holding them apart as Kirk shouted, begging them to stop. You think you can embarrass me again? Rasheeda screamed, struggling against the arms holding her back. Not this time, bitch. I'll end this once and for all. Jasmine, hair now out of place but smirk still intact, shouted back, end what? He'll always come back to me. That's why you'll never win. The room shook with energy, everyone on edge. And it was clear this wasn't just some random nightclub scuffle, this was the eruption of years of pain, lies, and broken trust. Outside the club, fans who had been pushed out by security gathered in the streets, screaming updates into their phones, going live on Instagram, and spreading the news before the fight even cooled down. Y'all won't believe this, one fan shouted into her camera. Rasheeda just tried to take Jasmine's head off. And Jasmine, Lord, she said Kirk been calling her again. This is insane. The comments flooded in instantly, fans across the country tuning in, shocked and divided. Some stood firmly with Rasheeda, calling her a queen for standing up for her family. Others stirred the pot, saying maybe Jasmine wasn't lying, maybe Kirk was still creeping behind closed doors. The family was left divided, the fans were left divided, and the drama had only just begun, as Rasheeda was escorted out of the club. Her face red with anger and streaked with tears, she shouted one last warning over the chaos. This ain't over. Not by a long shot. And Jasmine, still inside, surrounded by security but somehow still smirking, whispered to those close enough to hear, she better pray he don't call me tonight. That line would go viral by morning, sparking debates, memes, and endless speculation. But deep down, everyone knew this was just the beginning of another explosive chapter in a saga that refuses to die. Because when betrayal mixes with rage, and old wounds get ripped back open, there's no telling just how far the fallout will spread. The fallout from that explosive night didn't end when security dragged Rasheeda out of the club. If anything, that moment was just the spark. What followed was the wildfire. Outside, fans swarmed the sidewalks, phones in the air, desperate to capture Rasheeda's reaction as she stormed into the night. Paparazzi flashes blinded her, voices screamed questions all around her. Did Kirk cheat again? Is Jasmine lying? Rasheeda, are you leaving him? But she said nothing. Her silence, mixed with the fury written all over her face, spoke louder than words ever could. Kirk followed behind her, shoulders slumped, looking like a man who'd just watched his world crumble in front of him. For once, the boss chick didn't care about cameras, didn't care about saving face. She was done pretending, done swallowing her pain for the sake of appearances. And in that silence, fans knew this was about to blow up into something bigger than anyone imagined. Meanwhile, Jasmine remained inside the club, her confidence on full display. Surrounded by her crew, she laughed, sipped her drink, and tossed her hair like she hadn't just been shoved across the floor by a furious wife. Fans recorded her every move, posting clips that instantly went viral. She really unbothered after all that. One caption read. But Jasmine wasn't just unbothered, she was calculated. She knew exactly what she was doing. Every smirk, every sip of her drink, every subtle eye roll was a performance meant to sting Rasheeda deeper. She leaned into one of her friends and whispered, just loud enough for someone's phone to catch it, "She better check her man's DMs before she checks me." That line became the headline of the night, replayed and reposted until fans across the world were debating whether Kirk had once again crossed the line. Back at home, Rasheeda's rage exploded. She stormed into the house, slamming doors and pacing the floor while Kirk trailed behind her, trying and failing to calm her down. "You gonna stand there and let that bitch say you been calling her?" she screamed, voice breaking with fury. Kirk held his hands up, swearing he had nothing to do with it, but the doubt was already planted. "I ain't called her, I ain't texted her, I ain't seen her. I don't know why she said that, but she lying, Rasheeda, I swear." His words fell flat, drowned out by the sound of years of betrayal replaying in Rasheeda's head. She turned on him with tears burning her eyes, spitting out the words that cut deeper than any slap. "I don't believe you. Not anymore." The house echoed with shouting, doors slamming, and the kind of pain that no camera could ever fully capture. Kirk tried to hold her, tried to remind her of the family they built, but Rasheeda pushed him away. "You embarrassed me again," she cried in front of the whole damn city. "Kirk, how do you think that makes me feel? Do you even care?" Her voice cracked, but her fury burned stronger than her heartbreak. Kirk dropped his head, realizing no amount of excuses could erase the humiliation Jasmine had just caused. For once, he had no defense, no slick explanation, and that silence only made Rasheeda angrier. But while the Frost household imploded, social media exploded. Hashtags like Rasheeda Jasmine, hashtag Kirk caught again, and hashtag Boss Chick Breakdown trended overnight. Fans went live on Instagram, dissecting every second of the fight, debating whether Jasmine was telling the truth or stirring up drama for attention. Some swore they saw guilt written all over Kirk's face, while others insisted Jasmine was just chasing clout. Memes flooded timelines, pictures of Jasmine smirking next to captions like "Unbothered Queen" and clips of Rasheeda screaming with the words, "When you find out he might have cheated." Again, the internet was divided, and everyone had an opinion. Even fellow cast members started weighing in. Young Jock went live, laughing but shaking his head. "Man, this ATL drama never ends. I'm telling y'all, it's like watching a soap opera in real life." Carly Red added fuel to the fire, posting a shady tweet that read, "Some hoes never learn. And some men never change." Fans instantly assumed it was about Jasmine and Kirk, sparking even more speculation. And then Bambi jumped into the mix, defending Rasheeda on her own livestream. "That woman been through enough. Like damn, let her have peace. Why Jasmine always coming around trying to mess things up? It's pathetic." Each comment only fanned the flames, pulling more people into the chaos. But the biggest twist came when a mysterious screenshot started circulating online. A blurry image of text messages, supposedly between Kirk and Jasmine, began making its rounds. In the screenshot, Kirk's name appeared at the top, with messages that read, "We gotta be more careful this time, and she can't find out." Again, whether real or fake, the screenshot sent fans into a frenzy. "Proof," some shouted. "Photoshop," others argued. Rasheeda saw it too, and when she did, her rage hit another level. She stormed back onto social media, posting a cryptic message that sent shockwaves. "Play with me again, and I promise I'll burn it all down." The post racked up thousands of comments in minutes, fans begging her not to give up, others demanding she expose the truth. Jasmine, of course, wasted no time clapping back. She posted a selfie with the caption, "Don't hate me 'cause your man can't stay away." The internet exploded again, screenshots flooding every corner of Instagram and Twitter. Fans accused her of being messy, of chasing clout, of trying to ruin a family, but others sided with her, saying Rasheeda should stop blaming Jasmine and start holding Kirk accountable. The divide was brutal, tearing through fan bases and friendships alike. Even family members weren't safe from the drama word spread that Rasheeda's kids were furious, some siding with their mom, others quietly questioning their father. The family was left divided. Fans were left divided, and everyone knew things were about to spiral even further. Back in the Frost household, Kirk sat in silence as Rasheeda packed a bag. "Where you going?" he asked, voice shaky. She shot him a look that froze him in place. "Away from you," she said coldly. "I need to think. I need to breathe. And I can't do that around a man who might be lying to me again." She grabbed her keys and walked out, leaving Kirk standing alone, the weight of his choices crushing down on him. As the door slammed shut, he dropped to the couch, head in his hands, muttering the only words that mattered. "What have I done?" But, outside, the story was far from over. Cameras were waiting, fans were watching, and Jasmine was already plotting her next move. Because in Atlanta, when betrayal and rage collide, the drama never just fades away, only builds higher, louder, and messier than before. And Rasheeda's rage, that was just getting started. The very next morning, the city of Atlanta was buzzing like a hive struck by a stick. Every gossip blog, every entertainment site, every fan page was plastered with headlines about the fight. Paparazzi photos of Rasheeda storming out of the club with tears streaked down her face were paired with clips of Jasmine flipping her hair and laughing, as though she had just won the biggest battle of her life. The narrative was being written in real time, and Rasheeda could feel the walls closing in around her. Sitting at her best friend Candy's house, she vented through sobs and shouts, her emotions ping-ponging between heartbreak and pure rage. "I can't believe this shit, Candy. After all these years, after all I done for this man, after forgiving the unforgivable. This bitch really thinks she can walk back in my life and snatch him again." Her voice cracked, and she slammed her hand down on the kitchen table, her ring clinking against the wood. Candy listened quietly, nodding, her face tight with concern. "Rasheeda, I know you love Kirk, but baby, you can't keep letting him put you in this position. This ain't healthy, and it damn sure ain't fair." Meanwhile, Kirk sat alone at the Frost house, scrolling through his phone as thousands of tags piled up. He watched clip after clip of Rasheeda screaming, Jasmine smirking, and fans narrating every second like courtroom lawyers analyzing evidence. His mentions were on fire, people dragging him left and right. Kirk never gone change. Rasheeda deserved better. Jasmine ain't the problem. Kirk is. Each comment sliced deeper into his pride. He tried calling Rasheeda again and again, but she sent each call to voicemail. He sent texts, long paragraphs swearing his innocence, begging her to come home, pleading that Jasmine was lying. But her silence was louder than any words she could have spoken. And while he sat in isolation, Jasmine was playing the opposite game, feeding the fire. Jasmine went live on Instagram that afternoon. Her face lit perfectly, makeup flawless, sipping wine like the queen of chaos she had crowned herself. "Y'all saw what happened last night," she said with a sly grin. "But let's get one thing straight, I don't chase no man. If your husband wanna call me, that's your problem, not mine, period." The comments blew up instantly, fans flooding her chat with emojis, insults, and applause. Some called her a homewrecker, some called her bold, but everyone agreed on one thing: she was fearless. And then, as if she had been planning it all along, she dropped the bomb. "Since y'all think I'm lying, should I show the receipts?" she teased, waving her phone in front of the camera before setting it down. The internet lost its collective mind. Fans begged her to show screenshots, to spill it all. Hashtags like hashtag Jasmine got receipts and hashtag expose Kirk started trending within the hour. By the time evening rolled around, Rasheeda was being tagged in thousands of posts. Friends texted her nonstop, warning her to log off, not to watch Jasmine's live. But Rasheeda couldn't resist. Sitting on Candy's couch, she opened her phone, her hands trembling with fury, and watched Jasmine tease the world with what might be proof of Kirk's betrayal. "Play with me if you want," Jasmine purred to her audience. "But y'all know I don't lie about stuff like this." Kirk: "Know what it is." Rasheeda: "Know what it is. The world gonna know soon too." Rasheeda threw her phone down so hard the case cracked, screaming into the pillows. "I swear, if she posts one more thing, I'ma drag her through Atlanta myself." But Kirk wasn't sitting quietly anymore. Hearing about Jasmine's live, he finally decided to confront her directly. He drove to her apartment, pounding on the door until she answered. Cameras caught it all, neighbors recording from their windows as Kirk shouted, "Stop lying on me, Jasmine. Stop playing games with my marriage." Jasmine, never one to back down, stepped into the hallway in silk pajamas, smirking like she had just won the lottery. "If I'm lying, why you so pressed?" she shot back. "You out here at my door, looking crazy, begging me not to talk." Sounds like guilt to me, Kirk. The video spread like wildfire across social media, fans dissecting every word, every body language cue. He guilty, some insisted. He trying to cover his tracks. Others argued, she's messy. She's baiting him. But the truth didn't matter. What mattered was the spectacle. And the spectacle was messy enough to keep the world glued to their screens. Inside the Frost household, the fallout hit even harder. Rasheeda's mother, who had always been protective, showed up unannounced, furious and ready to take matters into her own hands. I told you, Rasheeda, she yelled, pacing the living room. Once a cheater, always a cheater. He humiliated you before, and now he got you out here looking crazy again. You better leave his sorry behind before he drags you down for good. Rasheeda sat silent, torn between the love she still carried for Kirk and the humiliation that was now public all over again. Her sons, overhearing the argument, joined in, their anger raw and unfiltered. Mom, why you still dealing with this? Kai said, his voice shaking. He don't respect you. We see it. Everybody see it. He gonna keep doing this until you're gone for real. Rasheeda broke down, sobbing into her hands, her entire family divided right there in their own home. Emotions ran high, and the house felt like it might shatter, under the weight of years of pain resurfacing. But Jasmine wasn't done stirring the pot. Just when things seemed like they couldn't get any worse, she posted a picture to her Instagram story, her hand holding a man's phone, the name Kirk Frost visible at the top of the screen. The caption read, "Stop calling me then?" The internet erupted once again. Fans flooded Rasheeda's comments, demanding answers, some sending her love, others dragging Kirk mercilessly. The lines were drawn deeper than ever, with fans choosing sides in the war. Some stood with Rasheeda, praising her strength, while others accused her of ignoring the truth for too long. And through it all, Jasmine smirked from her corner, feeding on the chaos, her confidence growing with every repost as the night fell. Rasheeda sat on the edge of the bed in silence, staring at her wedding ring. The fight at the club, the videos, the receipts, the humiliation, it all circled her mind in endless loops. Kirk entered quietly, looking broken, desperate to fix what felt unfixable. Rasheeda, he whispered, I'm begging you, don't let her win. Don't let Jasmine destroy us again. You know I love you. You know I want this family. Please, believe me. But the silence that followed was deafening. Rasheeda finally turned to him, her eyes red and swollen, her voice cold as ice. Love ain't enough anymore, Kirk. Not when the whole damn world thinks my husband can't keep it in his pants. With that, she pulled the ring off her finger and set it on the nightstand. Kirk's face crumbled, and for the first time, it seemed like the end might really be near. But this saga wasn't finished, not by a long shot. Because if Rasheeda thought she had seen the worst of Jasmine's games, she was about to learn just how far Jasmine was willing to go to stake her claim in the chaos. By the next day, Atlanta was on fire figuratively, but it might as well have been literal with how hot the streets, blogs, and social media feeds were burning up. Everywhere you turned, people were talking about one thing: Rasheeda's meltdown, Jasmine's so-called receipts, and whether Kirk had really fallen back into old habits. Coffee shops echoed with heated debates, radio stations opened their phone lines to callers who couldn't wait to share their takes. And the blogs were dropping articles faster than fans could click. Rasheeda's rage explodes again. One headline screamed. Another read, Jasmine drops bombshell Kirk can't let go. Even talk shows were picking up the story, with one morning host shaking her head, saying, this is beyond messy. This is generational drama right here. Rasheeda, meanwhile, stayed hidden, avoiding public appearances and ignoring most calls except from her closest circle. But hiding didn't mean silence. Her Instagram posts became increasingly cryptic. A black screen with the words "you can only push a woman so far before she snaps" garnered hundreds of thousands of likes and an avalanche of comments from fans offering support, advice, and sometimes harsh truths. Leave him, sis, one wrote. Stop playing the fool. Others begged her to stay strong and not let Jasmine win. The boss chick persona that Rasheeda built for years seemed to be crumbling under the pressure of heartbreak, but her anger gave her strength. Late that night, she posted a selfie with her eyes still puffy from crying but her chin lifted high, captioning it, "You can't break me. Not now, not ever." Fans flooded the comments with fire emojis, but deep down, everyone knew the battle was far from over. Kirk, on the other hand, was spiraling. Friends tried to reach him, but he refused to leave the house. Terrified of the cameras and even more terrified of facing Rasheeda's wrath, His phone buzzed nonstop calls from producers, text after text from fans, and dozens of voicemails from people urging him to clear the air. But the worst part came when he got a call from his son Kai. "Dad," Kai said, his voice cold, "you need to stop. You embarrassing mom. You embarrassing us. Enough is enough." The words crushed him more than any headline could. Kirk broke down after that call, pacing the house and whispering to himself, "I can fix this, I can fix this," even though the evidence piling up against him suggested otherwise. Every screenshot, every post, every smirk from Jasmine painted him as guilty, and his silence made it worse. And Jasmine, she was thriving in the spotlight. The more the world dragged her, the louder she became. She went live again, sitting pretty with her nails freshly done, sipping champagne like it was victory juice. "They mad because I'm telling the truth," she told her thousands of viewers. "If I was lying, Kirk would have already shut this down, but he can't, can he? You know why? Because he guilty." She scrolled through her phone dramatically, letting fans catch glimpses of her photo gallery where blurred-out screenshots peeked through. The comments went wild, people begging her to drop them, others calling her toxic, but no one logging off. Then she dropped the line that set the internet ablaze. "Rasheeda can scream, cry, and fight all she want, but at the end of the day, her man still want me." That one clip replayed across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram like wildfire, cementing Jasmine as the villain and the star of the drama all at once. The producers of Love and Hip Hop couldn't resist. Within 24 hours, calls went out to all three of them, Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine. They wanted it all on camera. They wanted sit-downs, confrontations, and confessions. The fans demanded it, and the producers knew this was ratings gold. At first, Rasheeda refused. "I'm not about to air my pain for y'all to make money," she told them through gritted teeth. But the pressure grew: contracts, obligations, and the need to control the narrative. If Jasmine was going to keep running her mouth, Rasheeda knew she couldn't stay silent forever. Kirk pushed for it too, desperate to prove his innocence, though everyone knew his track record made that nearly impossible. Eventually Rasheeda agreed, but on one condition: "If Jasmine gone sit across from me, y'all better have security ready, because I'm not responsible for what happens." Word leaked that a sit-down was being filmed, and fans lost their minds. "This gon' be bigger than the Cardi-Nicki fight," one fan tweeted. The anticipation was unbearable, with people already placing bets on what would happen. Would Rasheeda finally walk away from Kirk? Would Jasmine drop the alleged receipts on camera? Would Kirk admit the truth? Everyone had theories, and the speculation alone was enough to send the internet into a frenzy. When the day of filming came, the tension was nuclear. Rasheeda walked in first, her outfit sharp and commanding, her expression stone cold. Kirk followed, looking exhausted, like a man on the verge of collapse. And then Jasmine entered, her heels clicking, her lips curved into that same infuriating smirk. The air crackled as the three of them sat across from each other. The cameras rolling, the producers whispering behind the scenes like vultures circling a carcass. The silence was unbearable until Rasheeda finally broke it, her voice trembling, but sharp. "Why you keep coming for my marriage, Jasmine? What do you get out of this?" Jasmine didn't flinch. "I don't come for your marriage," she said sweetly. "Your husband comes for me." Kirk's face dropped into his hands, and Rasheeda's eyes filled with tears and fury all at once. The argument exploded from there. Rasheeda accused Jasmine of being obsessed, desperate for relevance, and willing to destroy families just to stay in the spotlight. Jasmine countered with claims that Kirk was still sneaking around, still reaching out, still playing both sides. The back and forth got so heated that security had to step closer, ready to intervene. Fans watching clips leaked from the set couldn't believe their eyes. Emotions ran high. Voices cracked, and accusations flew like bullets. At one point, Rasheeda stood up, pointing at Jasmine with all the fire in her soul. "You will never take what's mine. I built this family, I bled for this family, and I'll burn it all down before I let you destroy it again." Jasmine rolled her eyes, smirking like she had already won, and whispered into the mic, "Too late. It's already destroyed." And just like that, fans were left clutching their pearls, waiting for the next twist. Because one thing was clear: this wasn't just a storyline anymore. This was war. And with receipts still dangling in Jasmine's hands and Rasheeda's rage burning hotter than ever, the next move could shatter everything once and for all. The sit-down was supposed to bring clarity, but instead it ripped open wounds so deep that everyone in the room felt the sting. After Jasmine's chilling words, "It's already destroyed," Rasheeda froze for a split second, her chest heaving, her hands trembling, and then she erupted. "You don't get to decide when my family ends, bitch," she shouted, lunging forward so hard that security had to grab her mid. Cameras caught every second, the frame shaking, as producers screamed for calm. Jasmine, unfazed, leaned back in her chair with a devilish smile, taunting, "Why so mad if he innocent, huh? You know the truth, Rasheeda. You just scared to admit it." Kirk buried his face in his palms, the shame weighing heavier than the lights overhead. He mumbled, almost to himself but loud enough for the mics to catch, "I made mistakes before, but I'm not making them now." "She lying." Rasheeda snapped her head toward him, her eyes bloodshot, her voice cutting like glass. "Then prove it, Kirk. Prove it." The demand echoed, raw and desperate. For years, she had stood by him, forgiven him, fought for their family. But this was different, this was public annihilation, and her patience had run out. Kirk, stammering, shook his head. "How I'm supposed to prove something that never happened?" Jasmine jumped in, pulling out her phone with theatrical flair. "Easy. Let me show the people." The crowd of producers gasped. Camera crews, zooming in, as Jasmine scrolled dramatically, her fingers hovering over a blurred screenshot. For a second, it seemed she might actually reveal it. Rasheeda held her breath. Kirk's knee bounced under the table, and the entire set leaned forward like churchgoers waiting for a sermon. Then Jasmine snapped her phone shut and smirked. "Not today. Y'all ain't ready for that." The tease was worse than the reveal. It was gasoline on an already raging fire. Rasheeda screamed, "You trifling hoe. You play games with my life like it's entertainment." Jasmine laughed, leaning across the table just enough to whisper, "It is entertainment, and I'm the star." The room exploded. Security dragged the women apart again. Kirk yelled for them to stop. Producers pleaded to cut cameras, but the chaos wouldn't end. Backstage, Rasheeda sobbed in her dressing room, makeup smeared, fists pounding the vanity. "I can't take this no more. I can't," she repeated like a mantra. Her best friend Candy rushed in, pulling her into a hug. "Listen, you stronger than her, you stronger than him, and you stronger than this whole damn show. Don't let her win." But Rasheeda's eyes, red and hollow, told a different story. She was breaking, piece by piece. Meanwhile, Jasmine basked in the afterglow of destruction. She sat in her dressing room with her crew, sipping champagne and laughing as clips from the confrontation hit social media before filming had even wrapped. "They mad, but they watching," she gloated. "I'm trending again, baby." Her phone lit up with DMI's offers from blogs, and fans begging her to finally drop the receipts. She glanced at her screen and smirked. "Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Depends on how bored I get." Kirk, stuck in the middle, walked the halls like a ghost. He knew his silence was killing him, but speaking might kill him faster. Every word out of Jasmine's mouth felt like a dagger, but every tear from Rasheeda cut deeper than any blade. "How the hell did I end up here again?" he muttered under his breath. He tried to reach Rasheeda's room, but security blocked him, saying she needed space. For the first time in years, the man who had always found a way to slither through his messes had nowhere left to hide. Outside the studio, fans had gathered like paparazzi, live streaming every update. When Rasheeda finally emerged, her face streaked with tears but her head held high, the crowd screamed in support. "We love you, Rasheeda. Leave him. You don't need Kirk." She forced a weak smile, waving, but inside she was drowning. Hours later, back at home, she scrolled through the clips of Jasmine taunting her, her own rage pouring back in waves. She grabbed her phone, hit record, and spoke directly to her millions of followers. "I'm tired of the lies, I'm tired of the games, and I'm tired of people trying to make me the fool. Y'all want the truth? Stay tuned, 'cause I'm about to air out everything." That single post detonated the internet. Fans went wild, speculating what she meant. Did she have receipts of her own? Was she about to expose Jasmine, or Kirk, or both? Twitter exploded with hashtags like #RASHEEDA speaks and #BossChickExposed. Blogs scrambled to prepare headlines for whatever storm was coming. And Jasmine, she saw the post, rolled her eyes, and typed her own response. "Girl, please, you can't expose what everybody already know. He loved me." The battle lines were drawn deeper than ever. Rasheeda was ready to strike back. Kirk was stuck in the middle with nowhere to run. And Jasmine was still dangling her so-called receipts like a match hovering over gasoline. And with millions of eyes watching, waiting, dissecting every word, it was clear the next move would decide everything. Would Rasheeda finally take Jasmine down once and for all, or would Jasmine's games destroy the Frost family forever? One thing was certain: the war wasn't cooling down, it was only getting hotter, and that's where the storm leaves us: raw emotions, unanswered questions, and a family teetering on the edge of collapse, while the entire world watches. Rasheeda's rage burned hotter than ever, but beneath that fire was heartbreak, humiliation, and the unbearable weight of betrayal. Jasmine's smirk, her calculated taunts, and those mysterious receipts kept fans questioning whether she truly held the power to destroy what little trust remained in the Frost household. And Kirk, he stood in the crossfire, the man at the center of it all, his silence louder than any confession could ever be. Fans are shocked, the family is divided, and social media is still ablaze. Will Rasheeda finally cut ties for good, reclaim her crown, and walk away stronger than ever? Will Jasmine drop her so-called proof and shatter the Frosts beyond repair? Or will Kirk, somehow, against all odds, find a way to pull his marriage back from the brink one more time? No one knows the answers yet, but one thing is certain: this battle is far from over. And the next chapter will be even more explosive. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you believe Jasmine really has receipts? Or is she just stirring the pot for clout? Do you think Rasheeda should finally leave Kirk behind and protect her peace once and for all? Or is there still hope for this messy love triangle to find some kind of twisted resolution? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. We'll be reading every single one. And don't forget, if you love the drama, the tea, and the unfiltered truth behind these reality TV explosions, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss the next bombshell. Because trust me, this story isn't finished. The rage, the betrayal, the receipts, the tears, it's only just beginning. Stay tuned.